Cloudspotting, Upcycling, and Something Out of Nothing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast of The Ordinary Maverick. This is Ajay, your host, an ordinary maverick, sharing real life thoughts and experiences and maverick tips. They say the universe was created out of nothing. That's physics for you. If one does believe that the universe was created out of nothing, then one must also agree that something can be created out of nothing. Of course, there's another meaning to this. When one creates a something out of nothing, it's also taken as an exaggeration or overreaction. You know how we say you're making something out of nothing? And then, of course, there's magic or some kind of trick up your sleeve when, one conjures up something from thin air. Now, who isn't fascinated by magic? We all are, right? There have been some great magicians in the world. The ones skilled in the art of illusion leave quite an impression. I recall hearing about a show where the magician turned up very late. Well, that's what everyone thought, as the show was supposed to start at 8 p.m. and there was no sign of the magician until 8:30. Just as the crowd was getting restless, the magician appeared on stage and said, "Welcome to the show, and that we are starting right on time." And as everyone looked at their watches, the time on everyone's watch in the entire auditorium showed 8 p.m. A master illusion created with time. Absolutely brilliant. I have dabbled in magic too. I remember as a boy getting the magic kit and being fascinated by the invisible ink and chalk and the disappearing handkerchief amongst other tricks. Learned a few over the years, and these come in handy when you're in group events. Yes, learn a trick or two always helps. And yes, we have all enjoyed the Harry Potter series. If by any chance you haven't seen these movies yet, do sit yourself down and watch them. Yes, magic is there. But what's also there is friendship, trust, respect, innovation, thinking on your feet, and just plain sticking together when the going gets rough. We recently watched the entire series as a marathon, and it's amazing how everything connects. Now, creating something out of nothing, or rather an illusion to show that you have that which you do not have, or do not have something that you have, is extremely powerful. Interestingly, this features as part of the 36 stratagems of Chinese warfare. These are a collection of warfare wisdom gathered over the centuries. Very interesting reading and understanding these. However, getting back to the subject, the entire principle of something out of nothing is based on the premise that one has nothing, or rather, there's never a time when one has everything. But when we look around us, we see resources and can create something. We can use these resources all around us, but we rarely do. In today's world, it's just simpler to buy it or then just let it go. We are losing our creativity, or rather, the urge to make something out of nothing. Well, over the years, I found myself more and more inclined on creating things. You may ask, what things? Well, I started creating lamps out of pipes, for example, using any material including old calendars and plastic planners to create lamps. It was as if I didn't want to look at the so-called traditional materials to make lamps, but focus on doing this out of nothing, or rather whatever resources I could find. There was a different level of satisfaction and joy in lighting these non-traditional lamps. One of the main skills needed to make something out of nothing is creativity. That and a thirst for curiosity. We've all heard about recycling, right? In today's world, taking care of our climate, our environment is so critical, and we all need to do our bit. But here's another word, upcycling. This is about working with something that was already to be discarded, taken away, and then upcycling it to make something new, or just giving it a totally different look and feel. For example, we upcycle an old armchair and make it new with a lot of polish, or an old table, we do stenciling and make it colorful and back in use. In other words, we are upcycling. So, yes, it's not making something out of nothing in the true sense, but then we are still being creative and creating something usable, workable, beautiful from a discarded object. That's an art too. I've been doing this for years, and now it's like a given in the family. Before throwing away something, let's see if Ajay wants it or can make it into something else. Well, what can I say? It's about imagination. And the beauty of this is that there's always a story to tell with every object created. Now, here's another thought. We see the sky every day, right? I mean, it's right there. But how many of us actually see the sky and draw inspiration from it? Have you heard about cloud spotting? Well, cloud enthusiasts will tell you that's another creative form of something out of nothing. It's when we discover various shapes and forms in clouds. This is actually a hobby, and there are groups of cloud enthusiasts who gather for cloud spotting together. There's the Cloud Appreciation Society, who strongly believes that a sky without clouds, would make us all poorer. Life would be dull with blue sky thinking for sure. Cloud spotting is for dreamers, for imaginative thinking, and they feed the soul. If you get a chance, do hear Gavin Pretor-Pinney, the founder of the Cloud Appreciation Society, on TED Talks on the value of cloud spotting. I love the outdoors, and come to think of it, looking up to the sky, seeing the clouds, and for a moment just having my head in the clouds, in contemplative, reflective, reinvigorating all at once. Try it yourself and see. And more importantly, have our children become junior cloud spotters. This is one hobby that's calming, meditative, and imaginative all at once. My maverick spirit continues exploring and learning new things each day. We as a family have been looking up to the skies, discovering cloud formations for a long time, without quite realizing and knowing about cloud spotting. And I've drawn energy and inspiration from these beautiful skies and will continue to do so. There's nothing quite like a good hike up in the mountains, taking a pause, lying down on your back, and gazing up at the skies and cloud spotting. Do it once in a while, you'll know what I mean when I say it's transformative and uplifting. Write in your comments, share your feedback. I would love to hear from you. This is Ajay signing off, wishing you have an amazing day. Keep well, keep safe.
Credits. This podcast series was put together as a team effort from the Bhardwaj family. Concept, design, title, researchers and reviewers Ajay, Sanjana, Avantika and Niharika Bhardwaj. Script, Sanjana. Cover design, Niharika. All rights reserved.